One major story that was in the headlines for quite some time because of, well, one particular woman that we can only go off her word that she is, in fact, a woman. Who am I talking about? I'm talking about the likes of Candace Owens breaking a story, breaking a very provocative story, I might add, of Brigitte Macron being a man. We all know and have probably seen the series that she created, highly provocative content. It blew up. And apparently Candace was sued by Brigitte Macron or sent letters, cease and desist letters, you name it. And, you know, we can only go off what Candace Owens was saying. We can't really trust her at all nowadays because we know that she lies. So how do we know that Candace Owens is really a woman? We can only go off her word, can we? Or, yeah, that's the way it would seem, right? But I think the real story here is not whether or not Brigitte Macron was born a man. I think the real story here is that in 1992, Brigitte Macron met and groomed a 14-year-old Emmanuel Macron, who would one day be the future president of France. That is the story here. But everyone seems to be forgetting about that and focusing more primarily on whether or not Brigitte Macron is a man. Oh, it would make sense because of the Olympics and how they were heavily focused on trans ideology and the blaspheming of the Lord's Supper and everything like that, making a mockery of Jesus. We all remember that. It would make a great deal of sense, right? But still does not mean that Brigitte Macron is actually a man. What we do know is that Brigitte Macron groomed a 14-year-old boy, which means that Brigitte Macron is a PDF file. That is the actual story. But according to Candace Owens, if Brigitte Macron is a man, oh, it makes things a lot worse. It's the same bloody thing, man. If it was a man or a woman, it is still disgusting. It is still PDF-philia. You don't want either of it from a man or a woman. Culture today or society today seems to downgrade whether or not it's a woman that does it. For some reason, it's kind of like this fantasy, right? But if a man does it, oh, it's horrific. Let me just be very clear. If both do it, doesn't matter the sex. If both do it, it's both disgusting and horrendous, and both should face the full force of the law. That's my stance on the matter. But no, it matters more somehow. It's a big deal if Brigitte Macron is, in fact, a dude. Now, recently, on July 10th this year, the Paris Court of Appeal acquitted Natasha Ray and Amanda Dean Roy, who were sued by Brigitte Macron for a video broadcast on 9th of December 2021, in which they claimed that Brigitte Macron was born a man under the same name, Jean-Michel Trognoche, or whatever the hell the last name is. I don't really care. In January 2022, Brigitte Macron announced its intention to sue for defamation and obtain a conviction against Natasha Ray and Amanda Dean Roy. On 12th of September 2024, they appealed and have just been acquitted, meaning they did nothing wrong, which means that the court has found the defendants not guilty of an offense. So they claimed that Brigitte Macron was born a man. Brigitte got offended. Oh, no, this is defamation. This is wrong. But the Court of Appeal has now gone, we see no guilt or this is not even an offense. So therefore, you're free to go on with your lives, which leads me to go, well, the court must have found something relatively interesting to make them go, them claiming that Brigitte Macron is a man. Let's look at the evidence. Let's look at what's going on here. Is that true? Might be. Have they committed a crime? No, I don't think they have. Let them go, because it's probably accurate that Brigitte Macron is a dude. That's not really defamation, is it? I don't know. It's a very tricky situation, isn't it? But Brigitte Macron wanted a conviction. Conviction for defamation. But there is no conviction for defamation. This is apparently a major victory. Despite all the media precociously denial and blame, Brigitte Macron has obtained no conviction for defamation against those who claim that it was born a man. The reason why I'm calling Brigitte it is because of what it did to the likes of Emmanuel Macron. Not because I think that Brigitte is a man, is because I don't call PDF files by they're not human anymore. They're an it. They're just done away with humanity altogether. That's why I'm saying it. So for those that claim that it was born a man under the name Jean-Michel, Brigitte Macron is the wife of Emmanuel Macron, who it met in 1992 when the future president was 14 years old. That is the real story. And, well, Piers Morgan and Candace Owens have gotten into it, let's just say, over on X, because Candace goes, Piers Morgan owes me $150,000 and I am ready to collect. It was never defamation. It was a witch hunt. Legally speaking, the only proof Brigitte Macron is a woman is its word and that it is a woman. There is tons of proof, however, that it lived as a man before becoming Brigitte. It's according to Candace Owens. Okay? Again, they're focusing primarily on whether it is a man, not the grooming behavior. Interesting that, isn't it? And Piers Morgan responds and he goes, we only have your word for it that you're a woman. Indeed. As for your ludicrous and very hurtful to it and its family claims about Brigitte Macron's biology, today's court ruling, as you know, is irrelevant. So let's make it 300,000 if you can afford it. What a challenge. I saw this and I'm like, oh, this is juicy. This is some good stuff. Piers Morgan calling out Candace Owens and putting money behind it. The two of them can definitely afford it. They're made their money on lying and being very provocative, but they're missing the point. They're missing the whole point of this story. I don't care. I really do not care if Brigitte Macron is a dude or born as a dude. I do not care. What I care about is whether or not it groomed and abused a 14-year-old child who would one day become the president of France. And then it became the first lady of France. Not whether or not it is actually a dude. Like, why can't people see that there is actually a major problem and they're actually accepting PDF stuff? Yeah. I'm gobsmacked. Let's just completely gloss over this major thing and let's go straight to, oh, Brigitte is a dude. No. Go back to the thing that's the most important part of this story, please, because it is no longer human. I'm just saying. Yeah. I wonder if these people that were just acquitted, I wonder if they had stated that Brigitte Macron groomed a 14-year-old child. I wonder if that would be considered defamation. Because that's actually the truth. We can definitely agree that that is the truth. That's exactly what happened. Now, some may go, oh, Jay, it's cultural differences. It's France, man. Doesn't matter about the age. If you're 27 and they're 14, doesn't matter. It does matter. It really does matter. But anyway, we'll wait to see what actually happens. And it's good that, I guess, Piers Morgan is calling out Candy Owens. We'll see what happens, won't we? Anyway, that's enough from me. You guys take care. Be blessed, and I'll see you all in the next video.